Hi, I'm Alex McCord and welcome to The Real Deal on TheStir.com. Today we've got the Season 6 finale of The Real Housewives of New York City, also known as The Real Housewives of Fear Factor and Bad Jokes and Incoherence, because that's what I saw last night. Everyone on last night's episode seemed to be sad, scared of losing their jobs, or maybe just over it. And frankly, those moments seemed the most genuine. In a way, it would have been more interesting to see the ladies sitting around over drinks or coffee discussing what they could do to save the show. We didn't see that, so let's talk about what we did see. The scenes of Carol revealing her apartment renovation, Kristen's marriage doing better, Heather debating which course of action to take over her son's hearing, all of these things were good. I was happy for Kristen's sake that she and her husband ended the season on a positive note, because whether she does or does not come back, she's had a good season. What bugged me the most about last night's finale were the two main storylines. They were transparently fake. Harry Dubin's exit from Carol's party and Aviva Drescher tossing her leg. Let's be clear here. I don't have a problem with setup scenes on reality TV because I know they're necessary. When producers bring people together, give cast members contradictory information, and then see what happens, that's fair game. What I don't like is when the cast come in with things they know they're going to do no matter what, and they don't do it well. Again, for clarification, I don't mind cast members thinking up snappy one-liners and bullet points, having them floating around in their head. What I mind is when they come out awkwardly, they don't fit, they don't match. If you deliver it naturally, it's fine. You've got to be coherent. Let's go with Harry's early exit first. I can understand why this scene was treated the way it was, but I did not like it. In real life, sexy, sassy Sonia often gets caught up in the party in the moment. I can imagine that after filming that promise ring scene, she clocked out, let her hair down, and had a couple drinks. That's a typically Sonia thing to do, and when everyone else has finished their work and is finally ready to go, she's 3 rounds ahead of everyone else. To hear the ladies tell it, the whole cast left together, and Sonia was angry because she and Harry wound up in separate cabs, not together. That would have been fine to include in the show. Making a big deal out of Luann leaving with Harry and suddenly Luann's trying to steal Harry, that was a poor production choice. I don't know why the editors bothered trying to stitch that together, because if you know Luann, you know she will call out that fakery. Luann doesn't like to be accused of anything ever, but when she's falsely accused, watch out, because a hurricane's coming. See, I didn't like any of this because it was totally muddled up and doctored. If they had just let it play out as it actually happened, it would have been fine. Before we move on, there's one part of this storyline that I loved so much I didn't care whether it was real or fake, and that was the Sonia and Harry breakup scene. Which brings up a viewer question. Alexa Marks asked, the whole Sonia-Harry situation is fake, right? I don't know. Certainly, Sonia and Harry have a past. Whether their current relationship storyline was real or for the cameras, I don't think they would ultimately work out because Sonia and Harry are too much alike. But it was the best scene ever for Sonia. She said, "I'm ending the concept of you committing to me." Best breakup line I've ever heard. I don't care whether it was scripted because she delivered it well. But let's keep moving because we have a circus to attend. How perfect was it that the venue for the finale party was Le Cirque? And Aviva added the soleil part by becoming an aerialist and throwing her leg, or something like that. Well, it's Sonia's party and she's an hour late, and everyone's standing around awkwardly. And I'm betting that Aviva was there early as well, but the producers didn't want her to enter the party until Sonia was there, so she was probably being held in a car or at a table in another part of the restaurant, probably having her hand held and her anxieties soothed by her line producer, and probably practicing a smooth leg removal over and over again. In any case, Sonia finally shows up, and instead of greeting her cast members, she immediately launches into a long speech that doesn't really make any sense. The ladies get bored and start to giggle, which of course infuriates Sonia and gives her something to talk about with Aviva. She calls the ladies emotional vampires. Use of the term vampire reminds me of Scary Island, but unfortunately Le Circus never gets that good. Speech over, the ladies sit down, and I have to believe that the moment Aviva was situated on that banquette, she started surreptitiously removing her leg in order to have it ready to throw at the right moment. Or maybe she had a spare. A sharp-eyed Twitter viewer said they saw her carrying in an enormous bag, so who knows, maybe she threw the extra one. To that end, Aviva makes the conversation immediately about her and loses her cool completely when the cast starts saying that her asthma is probably not as bad as she says it is, maybe she has Munchausen syndrome, etc. Aviva starts flapping her arms like she's trying to fly away, but before she throws her leg, she tries a bad joke. One of Aviva's many problems is that she can't tell a joke properly. She thinks she's being funny and witty by throwing out her x-rays and saying, "Oh, they're all forged, they're all fake." The problem is her delivery is so awkward that nobody knows how they're supposed to react. Sonia is the only funny one, wondering whether the x-rays could be of her boob job. But wait! Aviva's looking for her leg toss opening, and excellent. Heather says something blah blah, "You're not being honest." Perfect. Well, it wasn't fake or authentic, which were the key words we were looking for, but honest is close enough for Aviva, who reaches under the table and says, "The only fake thing about me is this." Boom. And everyone laughs. Oops, I think they were supposed to be shocked. Well, Kristen, without knowing it, gave the reaction the producers were looking for, so she gets the most camera time. She jumps up, hand over her mouth, says, "Oh, I'm gonna vomit," and just in case you missed it, they helpfully subtitle it for us. Everybody else seems to be chuckling and saying, "Really?" The last line of the episode, I couldn't tell who said it, was, "This was the weirdest party I've ever been to." Okay, let's break it down. Why does no one care about Aviva and her leg? Because it all seemed so fake. Okay, sometimes this season, Aviva seemed like she was going to turn into the next Kelly Ben-Simone, so you would think that this leg throwing should be up there with Scary Island, right? No, and I'll tell you why. See, on Scary Island, Kelly really truly did unravel. That week started with her being a little weird, and it progressed and she got worse and worse until suddenly the penny dropped both with the cast and crew. None of us, in front of or behind the cameras, really got that she was not acting out for TV until she truly lost it. And then we all collectively took a step back and realized that she needed help, and you saw all of it because the cameras caught it all. With Aviva, by contrast, she is not genuinely suffering any sort of a psychotic break. Whereas Kelly was in real pain, really frightened, really truly genuinely thought we were all trying to hurt her, Aviva's just a 6-year-old throwing a temper tantrum about nonsense and stamping her feet. Or foot. Let me give you another example. Teresa Giudice's table flip. Teresa just lost control. She didn't plan that flip. She just exploded. No one premeditated that because Teresa just doesn't think that far ahead. Nobody cared about Aviva's leg toss because it was so obviously premeditated, and it didn't even really fit as a proper response to Heather's statement. One other thing I want to mention, because I never understood it as a cast member, but I finally do as a viewer. See, I learned something. Toward the end of the Le Cirque party, when half the cast left the table, everyone's talking over one another. You can't hear a thing, and we as viewers kind of tune out. See, as a cast member, each woman was trying to get out her own point, dying to make the snappiest, wittiest, sexiest comment that everyone would love and that would make them look good. Behind the scenes, producers will tell you, just keep talking. You're wearing a microphone. We can turn you up and turn everybody else down if you say something interesting. So, cast members all keep talking in desperation to make the point that's going to make the final cut. And I think in this scene, either the editors couldn't decide which audio channel to turn up, or maybe they wanted to slam the entire cast by showing that they're all talking over one another and nobody's saying anything interesting. Final thoughts? I think New York is indicative of the larger problem with the Real Housewives franchise. Because simply keeping their jobs has become so cutthroat, every single cast member has become terrified, awkward, and unhinged. Everyone seems to be trying to be the biggest, zaniest, craziest, snappiest, wittiest, all at the same time. And in addition, they're second-guessing every single thing they say and do because they're wondering how it's going to be chopped up and edited, whether they're going to look good or bad. It's exhausting. And it makes them all look like toxic narcissists on crack. Not a fun place to be. And with the reunion filmed and nothing left to do for the next 3 months or so until the network decides whether they all still have jobs, let's just say I would not want to be in their shoes, even if they are Louboutins. Let me know what you thought in the comments. For now, I'm Alex McCord. You're watching The Real Deal on thestir.com. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you tomorrow.